Happy Wednesday and welcome to you. It's great to be here for another conversations on health with Dr. Kenny Bastien. I am Natoya Johnson Chapman. Welcome to Wilson's Music Center. We are here for episode 3 of Conversations on Health, where we're speaking to Dr. Kenny Bastien. Good afternoon, Dr. Bastien, and how are you?
Good afternoon, Natoya, and good afternoon, all the listeners of this program. I'm doing the best I can, and God has been good to me. What about you?
Excellent. I'm great. I'm thankful. I love to talk about health. I love to talk about wellness. I love to talk about helping ourselves. As we continue to grow and, develop into this life, the more we learn about ourselves, the better we'll be. And who better to share that information with us other than you, Dr. Bastian?
If you say so, I believe it.
I trust your information. You have shared a lot of wealthy information with us over the years, and today is no different. So we're gonna talk about how can food be your medicine today. Yes,
Yes, yes, yes,
excellent.
yes.
So
A lot of people. Go ahead. Go ahead.
let's get into the first question. So why is the cook in the house the greatest chemist under the roof? I like that.
As a matter of fact, the cook in the house is a great chemist.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that person is responsible for the maintenance of life, and is providing all the ingredients, combining them in such a way that the food is palatable, pleasant when you're looking at it, and there are so many factors that are key for the cook. The cook need to be fully in control of the combination that he or she is making, because she is contributing to the maintenance of life. And the life is precious. And when you know exactly how to combine the food to provide the energy to the members of the family, it is a love action, but it's a life action as well. You're giving life every day to everybody in the house. So
Absolutely.
that would contribute to the psychological, emotional, intellectual, physical de- development of the person. Each member of the family relies on the food coming from the kitchen. So that's what I said. The kitchen is the most important place in the house. After the kitchen, the bedroom, and after the bedroom, the bathroom.
Absolutely.
When you make sure those three spots are in good condition, well, you will see that there will be a lot of peace in the house. Because when there is no peace in the kitchen and in the bedroom, there is no home. The bedroom and the kitchen are the most important place for a family, for a couple. So the kitchen is the place, is the greatest, is the laboratory of the house. Laboratory is where, particularly a place, a chemistry laboratory, because this is the place that you you perform the life reactions that will continue to the sustenance of everybody in the house. The kitchen is a laboratory because you're mixing ingredients, and the knowledge in the way to mix those ingredients is something extremely important. Some people, they have to go to school to learn that, and some people, they go to school, they learn it, but they have the theory, but they don't know how to practice it. There are people that have never been to school, but they have a kind of insight. They spontaneously know exactly how to combine the food and to make it tasty, and also combine in such a way it becomes very nutritious. The food contribute to the maintenance of energy, the energy of the body. All the chemical reactions, all the mood, the feelings, emotions, intellectual performance are directly connected to the food you eat on a daily basis. You see, the beauty of your appearance, your skin, all those things reveal exactly what you are eating. Your body, your appearance is a direct reflection of what you eat. So the kitchen is a place where all those things take place. The combination of the food, the the storage of the food also. So that's why the kitchen must be extremely, extremely well kept. Now, what is important is the way you combine the food. You need to combine the food. In order to do it right, you need to have a clear knowledge of who you are cooking for. It's very important for the cook in the house to know the biochemical profile, the biochemical individuality, the the metabolic profile of the members of the family. So
Nice. Okay. So as you mentioned that the person who is cooking, the chemist in the laboratory, right?
yes,
If they have to understand the metabolic profile of everyone in the house, how would that be? Because there are different buildups of things, you know? That would make things very difficult. So probably
no, it's
having
not
a chef might
difficult.
be the easiest thing it to have at the home versus the woman or the man doing all the cooking. That has
No,
to
the
have
chef,
different.
if, even the chef, the cook, the man. I think we as family, before we create our family, there are a lot of steps we should take. We need to, I'd ask the person, you can be fully in love, be crazy in love with somebody, but you need to think about your offspring, the children you're going to have, what
Yeah.
the combination of both partners, the genetic combination of both partners, what is that combination going to bring to that offspring? If the husband is has sickle cell and the wife has asthma, if both of them they have sickle cell traits or something like that, I can love you to death, but I'm not going to marry you.
Mm,
Or if I marry you, I will decide that if we get married, but we cannot have children,
right.
because we're going to make to bring to life miserable people because they're going to have a full-blown sickle cell condition.
Right.
So that's why we need to be responsible in what we do. So if I marry a partner that has the trait of sickle cell, I will decide not to have children. I can love you, but we cannot have children because of that situation. And if somebody suffer with chronic allergies, and there is nothing is done before preparing ourselves for giving birth, well, those children are going to inherit of those condition.
Mm.
And we need to be more responsible
Yeah.
in our love business.
I mean, doc, people
But
are busy falling in love and they don't have time to think about those things. You know, it's like butterfly moments. We're going on dates, we're going and just have dinner, we're relaxing. So they don't think about those things that, okay, all right, these are the conditions I have and it will cause an impact on my offsprings. As I said, they don't think about it.
well, they don't think about it because they are not educated. Now, this is why we have that conversation now.
Yeah, boss.
Because a lot of parents now, yes, that's exactly why we have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because many families suffer the. Imagine that you're going to give birth to a child, and your child, you love your child, and your child is going to suffer with sickle cell anemia, and this child has to go to the doctor 3 times a week for blood transfusion.
Yeah.
And each time that child goes for that blood transfusion, the body reject the blood. And most of the time, you don't expect those children to exist or to live beyond 20, 21, 22 years old because the system is already worn out, destroyed by the repetition of the blood transfusion. But each time you have a blood transfusion, there is a reaction of rejection. The body doesn't
Mm.
accept the blood happily. The body build a lot of antibodies to reject the blood because it receive it as an antigens. So you're going to have a very complicated immune system
Yeah.
and a lot of inflammatory condition. Those children are in pain because of inflammation. Nobody wants to have, I can love you to death, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
accept that we give birth to a child that will suffer for 15, 20, 50 years of his life with that condition.
Yeah.
And this is the level of responsibility that we have. Spiritually is not, it's not, it's not wise to do such things.
Yeah.
But we don't,
So
that's why
it
we're having that conversation, yes.
yeah, so it should become a prerequisite. Okay, part of us getting married or part of us building a family together. Yes, we're gonna have counseling. Yes, we're gonna talk to each other's families, but we also need to know each other's medical background. I think it should become a prerequisite.
That's the first thing. Uh,
Absolutely.
when you decide to become serious, there are a lot of medical testing that you need to do. You need
Yeah,
to check the STD.
for
You need
sure.
to check. You need to check the blood condition if you have sickle cell or not, and you have to check if you have Epstein-Barr issue story in your. All those things. Those are preliminary condition, medical condition, and if you still love each other, you have to decide, are we going to make the sacrifice to be together, not having children? Can you, if you have any of those conditions, will you accept not to have a child? Because in that condition, we cannot, even the possibility to give birth exists in both partners, but the responsibility, the outcome will be so devastating for not
Yeah,
only for the offspring, for the child, but for the family, because
yeah,
you're not going to have a life.
yeah,
You're going to be running to the hospital all the time, facing emergency, medical emergency all the time
yeah.
because of the condition of the child.
Wow.
So that's why it's not only counseling, but unfortunately, in many counseling sessions, they don't take those aspect into consideration
Yeah.
because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. But I prefer to hurt your feelings big time
Yeah, and I
instead
mean,
of.
if it is your adult and you're making that big decision, a lifetime decision, you shouldn't have any hurt feelings. The transparency should be clear and truthful. you
Yes,
know?
yes and no, because when you're in love, you're blind, and
Mm.
particularly in particularly when you have had premarital sex, forget it. Premarital sex give
Mm.
you an attachment, and people don't understand that when you have sex with somebody,
Mm.
uh, you produce some hormones that attach you to the person. You have oxytocin that attach you to the
Right.
person, and you think you're in love. You're not in love. There is an attachment because the secretions of those
The
hormones
transfer of the
connect
hormones. Yeah.
connect you to the person emotionally and chemically. And the fact is, because you have sex voluntarily with that person, you produce the hormones. And when you see the person the next time, it will be very easy to repeat the act. And you will repeat it, repeat it, repeat it because you keep producing the hormones each time
Wow.
you get in contact with that person.
Yeah.
You, we don't realize that, but we say, well, you feel it normal because on both sides produce the same hormone of
Right.
attachment.
Wow. But oh my gosh, you know, when we start talking, look at how we coming off of the topic of food and your medicine here. But I guess that's how
Well,
extensive and serious this topic could be.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, why we go there, I said two things are important in the house: the kitchen and the bedroom. Um,
Right.
uh, and and the kitchen and the bedroom is the way we combine the food. It's important for any couple partner. That's the second thing. You need to make sure that at least we have a physical, chemical, body compatibility, but we have to know now if we're going to live together, how are we going to eat together?
Yes.
What type of food do you eat? I know somebody that decided, say, well, I'm a great cook. I do good food, and the food tastes good, but man, the amount of fat, the
Hmm.
oil that the person used to prepare the food can kill somebody. So there
Yeah.
is no surprise that, and it's saturated fat that that person is feeding you on a daily
Yeah.
basis.
Yeah.
You see, when you get into consideration the metabolic profile, usually the fat percentage is limited to 5, 7% of the diet. But that person put almost 30% of fat
Wow.
in your diet. Yes, because everything must be fried, and because fried food tastes good. But when you keep eating that way on a daily basis after 365 days, well, you can end
Mm-hmm.
up with some serious clogging. And if you've been married for 10, 15 years eating that way, you have no lumen in your arteries left.
Well, you know, it's so funny because you know in the Caribbean, as you would know, when it says you get married and you get fat, people actually think it's a healthy thing. You know, well you're happy, you're real, all your real things are real nice with you guys because you all put on weight and you're looking bulky. But sometimes, yes, it's
Bulky.
love, sometimes it's happiness, but a lot of the times it's what's happening in the kitchen, as you said, the
That's
laboratory.
exactly a laboratory. And you see somebody that was young, looking good, and then after they get married, the food they are eating destroy them completely. Their
Wow.
morphology has changed. They
Yeah.
still have a nice face, but the chemistry of the food has modified completely their appearance. And that's why so people don't understand. They
Mm.
think it's normal that things change like that. No, it's not normal. It's the is the
Mm.
it's a metabolic changes, the chemistry, the way they used to eat at the family
Yeah.
house is not the way they eat in their new home, in their new
Correct.
family.
Correct.
So that's why you see it's good to spend some time with somebody before getting married. The fian, you see, my fiance, all those things. The fiance is the time that you spend preparing the cohabitation. You're getting ready to cohabit, to live together. So
Yeah.
there are several topics that you need to address. How are we going to live together? And let me interject that in that at that level, that stage. Never get married just because you are in love. You get married because you agree together upon a common lifetime project.
Right.
If you don't have a lifetime project, you need to create one. Otherwise, your marriage will last 3 years. Uh, three
Mm.
years of great sex, a high level of amphetamines, and all goes well. After it lasts basically 3 months, 3 months, and 3 years. Because during that time, 3 months, 3 years, you're producing a lot of amphetamine. Amphetamine is a specific chemical that you produce when you're in love or when you make love that make the love experience extremely exciting. But what is sure, after the 3 years, the 3 months, the amphetamine concentration decrease and you begin to experience less attraction and less interest for the other partner because the attraction was based on amphetamine. You didn't have time to build a friendship. If you don't take time to build a friendship before you get married, the marriage will not last. Because if it's based only on the sexual attraction is supported by the amphetamines, and it lasts only, your body can produce it in an interval of 3 months, 3 years. After that, it goes away. And suddenly you will begin to show very low interest for your partner. And many people, they've been married for 50, 20 years, 30 years. There is no love there. There is no attraction. There is no sexual attraction. Mm. So because because of that, the marriage become just a formality, and both people are miserable because they play the game of make believe. They make when they go to church, they hold hands, and when they leave church, uh, there is no holding hands, and everybody is on their own. That's what happened. Uh, let's go back to the kitchen.
Yes.
In the
Yes.
Caribbean, in the Caribbean, I think there there is a need for a revolution. We cannot. There is what we call a monotonous diet of the Caribbean. The monotonous diet is the fact that everybody is eating rice and beans every day.
Every day.
Uh, every day it doesn't make sense. It's a monotonous diet. It's a dangerous diet
Yeah.
because the rice and beans overload you with polysaccharides. And this is the type of a diet that causes you to develop diabetes, arthritis, and high blood pressure.
And that's why
And that's why
prices of these things are so high in the Caribbean. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I call it the result of the slavery diet as well. So that's why I said the person that is going to cook, to take control of the kitchen. And I would prefer that the husband and the wife, they join forces together because when the wife is cooking, the wife doesn't necessarily eat the food that she's fixing
Right.
because she eats with her nose. The wife eats with her nose.
Right.
She get the most, I would say, sublime superior part of the food, because the food has aroma, and there is a volatility of the fragrance of the oil coming from the food, and that is going to go to the nostril of the wife. And most of the time she doesn't eat a lot, but she's going to be fat
Mm-hmm.
because she's eating a lot with her nose more than
Mm.
with her mouth.
Right.
But she will look also extremely good because she capture what you call the living part of the food. And when she put the food on the table, the heat, the temperature already kill most of the living nutrients of the food, and the
Right.
husband will eat some of the dead food.
Yeah.
So what I encourage the husband to alternate. The husband, if he doesn't know how to cook and if he doesn't have the time to that can happen. It's a matter of agreement between the partners. We need to discuss that and say, well, let's see how I can do it. If you cook the whole week, I'll cook the weekend, and
Yeah.
something like that to make it pleasant and to give a relief to the other partner. So the greatest chemistry taking place, that's where you're preparing, you're creating chemical reaction. When you mix the food, it's chemical reaction. And this is the food that your husband is going to eat, the food that is the result of that reaction, chemical reaction. When you serve it to your children and to your husband and to yourself, that is going to also initiate a very specific chemical reaction inside of the body. And that's why it's so important to make the difference between uh, the food that is toxic and the food that is life giving. Uh, a life giving food,
Yes, I was now saying let's get
gene-
into few examples.
yes. For example, if you put a toxic food is when you put on the table fried plantain
Oh boy.
with fried chicken.
Oh
Okay,
boy.
and those things taste good, and you serve it with mayonnaise and some
Mm.
onion, and then some you know lettuce leaves. You put that on the table. It looks good. It tastes good. It's it's fried chicken. It's fried plantain, and you put some tomato. You put some onion, and you put some lettuce. But this food is toxic because the fried food inoculate, introduce inside the body a dead fat. The
Yes.
dead fat is a saturated fat. The saturated fat is going to clog your arteries and your lymphatic vessel. And that, if that's something that you love, well, you're going to end up with uh, high cholesterol, blood clot, high blood pressure, stroke. Those are toxic food and deadly food. But
Okay.
if you serve, I'm not saying that you should not eat uh, fried food at all,
And
but
especially
what I
plantain.
cook, well, can you, plant fried chicken or fried goat?
Oh boy.
Oh, I can tell you that thing tastes good. But I I strongly suggest that you take essential fatty acid when you eat like that. You take essential fatty acid omega 3, and you take also uh, vitamin E with
Mm.
selenium.
Right.
When you eat a lot of fried food, you need a lot of those catalytic agent to break down the fat. And you're going to take also milk thistle, those type of food that will stimulate your liver to produce the bile so that the bile can emulsify the fat. Those are, uh, I would say, basic notions of uh, nutrition, of uh, biochemistry that you need to know in order to take care of yourself and your family.
Right.
Uh, and you need also to take zinc. Uh, because those type of fried food are going to interfere with your prostate. At an early stage, you develop a calcified prostate because of your high level of cholesterol will
Right.
combine itself with the calcium and cause the calcification of the prostate. We create the disease. And that's why I said, and nobody knows is the chemist in the kitchen. that
That's
that
amazing.
is the chemist in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Uh, he's, he or she is giving you what you like, but what you like can be, imagine that that food that you're eating goes
Very
against your metabolic
detrimental.
profile or very detrimental.
Yeah.
So
So ultimately, the kitchen is the most sophisticated laboratory in the world.
it is, it is, it is.
Yeah.
And guess what? The process happen on a daily basis, sometimes three times a day, you get poisoned with a food that tastes good. It's a kind
Doctor, you
of,
get poison, yes? So, wow, it's true.
yes, and you've been killed softly, killing me softly, with love, because you love your wife for the good food that she cook, but that food is killing you without you realizing it, without her realizing it as well.
Yeah.
So this is the type of mistake that we should avoid the best we can. Now,
Excellent. So
uh,
you gave an
a
example of,
life giving
right, life giving. So let's talk about a life
a,
giving example.
a life giving food, for example, is when for the same chicken you take it, but you bake it. You can bake the same chicken and you can boil the plantain. The same food, but prepared differently. Uh, uh, so when that happens, it's something totally different. It's the same food, but the way you prepare it, that's why the kitchen is so important. You boil the plantain and you bake the chicken automatically. You have no interference of the fat, and you can prepare both with good condiment, and that is going to taste good. And that same food that is death giving become a life giving food. And you can use a lot of fresh salad around uncooked, and that same food will be extremely tasty, extremely nourishing. Isn't that something? So that's why the same kitchen can become the place where the whole family, the whole life experience, take place. We don't think enough about the impact of those uh, simple action. We don't we don't we don't give enough importance. So the way to prepare the same food can be a death sentence, excuse me, or a life giving experience. Um, I I believe that uh, the chemistry that takes place in the kitchen is important for the children because it's going to interfere with the intellectual performance of the children. It's going to interfere with the personality of the children. It's going to interfere also with the the atmosphere. So that food uh, in the kitchen is something that we need to take into consideration. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know how I love to eat, but I also love myself and I love living a healthy life. So I totally understand and respect that science of things. So great.
Yeah.
Um, let's head into another question, Doc. Um, what are some of the emergency foods you think we should keep at home? especially in cases where persons who, they didn't, a lot of persons really didn't plan to have children. So they already created the mess, right? Or I don't even want to use the word mess. Things are already bad off. What are some emergency foods that they can keep at home to help themselves deal with situations? For instance, you gave the example of, the sickle cell woman and a high cholesterol man. So they already created that child, right? How can this family really maintain a healthier lifestyle for themselves with foods or medicinal foods and plants at home?
Well, the reason I mentioned that, a lot of people, when they have a stroke, for example, and they remain idle, they don't do anything,
Yeah,
and they wait for emergency, for the ambulance to reach. But from the moment that you begin to experience the symptom of the stroke, what you should do immediately is to take cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper, a lot of spices. We need to have in the house a lot of spices like first aid solution. I can give you a list. You can have cayenne pepper, charcoal, cinnamon, ginger. Those are the type of food, emergency food. You have to have salt and you have to have baking soda.
yeah,
Those are a list, and you need to have garlic all the time.
all the
Garlic,
time.
onion, all the time you have to have those basic things. Activated charcoal, cayenne pepper, cinnamon. Yes, you need to have those type of food all the time in the house. Baking soda, cinnamon, olive oil. Olive oil is
Yes,
extremely important.
yeah.
That's what I call a set of emergency food. If you have a stroke, during the first 3 hours of the stroke, you become speech impaired. You cannot, uh, and you lose your mobility. Well, within the next 3 hours, the first 3 hours of the stroke, if you take cayenne pepper will reverse the symptoms, those symptoms, before the ambulance
Yeah,
come. You take 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper in powder form, you put it in a cup of hot water, you drink it as a tea. 1 hour, another hour, you would do the same thing. Don't worry about the burning sensation you may experience in your stomach. It's not a problem. But you're saving your life, you're saving your brain when you do that. And some people that cannot speak during the first hour of the stroke, well, you'll be amazed. After they take the cayenne pepper, they'll be able to speak.
right.
Uh, yes, they'll be able to speak and they'll be able to recover their mobility. And people that experience the stroke, I think I've said that before, and they cannot express themselves because the left brain is affected by that. Those people that cannot speak after the stroke, those people can sing.
They can
They
sing.
can sing. Yes.
Mm,
So it's a very good thing for them to know that the best rehabilitation exercise or program they should follow is to take singing lessons.
right.
And by doing that, they will be amazed. They will re-educate the right brain, the left brain, because
Mm,
when you sing with your right brain,
right.
with your that's the way it works. Brain uh, take into consideration the melody of the music.
Yeah.
Your left brain take into consideration the lyric, the words.
Mm,
So your right brain will take over, assess the melody, and also use the lyric. That's the benefit of your left brain. So of your right brain, that's the benefit, the ability of the right brain to do that. So when when this is done, you repeat, you have that exercise, that singing lesson on a daily basis. After 30 days, you'll be amazed. Your ability to speak will come back. It come back very quickly because
Right.
the right brain stimulate the left brain. Very few people know about that approach, and this is the benefit of neuroscience.
Yeah,
All right.
neuroscience is a big thing. I heard about
Yes.
a lady, is that a British lady or a lady living in London? I'm not sure. But she had a stroke, and when it is she recovered, she had a full Italian accent. I don't know if you heard
Yes.
about her. Like,
Yes. It happens. It happens.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was really
It's
interesting.
because yes, and sometimes when you recover, you find yourself speaking other languages
Mm.
and that you didn't learn.
Yeah.
There's an explanation. There's a spiritual explanation to that.
Yeah, I was now going to say that sounds very spiritual. But do we
Yes.
have the
Yes. There's a
time? I know
spiritual.
we have a couple more questions and we have about 50 more minutes into the show. We could talk about that sometime, of course. So are you
This that will come. That will come.
excellent? I know.
Uh,
I know you're
but
very
the
excited to
emergency,
share information too.
yes, that will come. The beauty of this is that so many things that we should be aware of. We we're going through life. We don't know anything about
Yeah.
those things. We
Yeah.
get married. We have our children. We're busy with jobs, and we forgot to live. And even our sexual life is a miserable one because we don't we don't know all the potential of that body that God has given us. We have a lot
Right.
of taboos. We don't eat the right food, and very early we become dysfunctional when it comes to our sexuality, and that has to do with the food, and that has to do with the chemistry of the kitchen. So when you're doing your chemistry in the kitchen, you need to take into consideration the sexual performance as well.
Yeah.
Now, what are the emergency food we need to have? You have to have cinnamon. Cinnamon is important. Cayenne pepper is important. Activated charcoal is important. Baking soda is important. All those food will help you. If you have your blood sugar going up, cinnamon is there to help you. If you have a lot of inflammation going up, if you introduce cinnamon as a spice in the cocktail, in the mixture that you make to season your food, well, cinnamon will help you shut down inflammation. Cayenne pepper is a vasodilator. If you suffer with a lot of headaches and you suffer with a lot of arterial congestion, well, cayenne pepper is going to help you if you have any stroke, as I explained. Um, Baking soda, if you suffer with a gastric acidity, acid reflux, you take 1 tablespoon of baking soda in the morning, a glass of water. Regularly, you drink that, and you wait. After you drink it slowly so you don't vomit. And after 1 hour drinking it, you'll be able to flush. You alkalize the stomach after 1 hour. The pH of the stomach will come back to normal. When you take the baking soda, the pH can go up to 9 to 13. But when it comes back to 2 after 1 hour. That means the stomach will be able to function well. There are certain type of enzymes, food like papaya, pineapple. You have to have those food all the time in the house because that provide you with a lot of enzymes for your digestive system. This is emergency food.
Perfect.
You have to have a lot of onions. So baking soda, cayenne pepper, activated charcoal. Imagine that you go to the market and they sold you, or you go to the supermarket and you bought a fish that has been uh, on the shelf or in the fridge for a long time. But
Yeah.
although although freeze, it's frozen, but that doesn't mean the flesh is not decayed. The
Yeah.
flesh can still be decayed, and without paying attention because it was frozen, you go and you fried it. Because
Mm.
the fat will hide the a poisonous taste, um, and then you eat it, and after 3 hours, you begin to experience some strange symptoms. You are
Yeah.
a victim of food poisoning.
Yeah.
Food poisoning. Now, what do? Your activated charcoal is there to help you automatically. That doesn't mean you don't call emergency, but before emergency arrive, now you know that you have in the house those emergency food that will help you. So this is the idea how your food, your food can become your medicine, and you begin to see now the interaction. Of course, there are a lot of details, a lot of implication. There are different way of preparing the food as well for a
Yes.
greater absorption,
Yes.
a greater concentration. Instead, for example, a lot of people they eat salad, but instead of eating your salad, why don't you make some juice? You take beets, and you take celery, you take romaine lettuce, and you take broccoli, or you can take Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
You juice them.
Yeah.
A lot of people suffering with um, from
Digestive issues.
menopause.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
menopause hormone
menopause.
imbalance.
Right.
Yes, hormone imbalance. Well, when you juice beets, you juice Brussels sprouts, and you juice bok choy or broccoli, well, you provide yourself with a molecule called indole tricarbinol that balance your estrogen.
Mm.
Because many times we suffer from those things because of the breakdown of the ratio between the three hormones. This is the way you get married. Take time to prepare yourself, to educate yourself properly, and then take control of your environment.
Yeah.
Imagine that you have a husband and you have a wife. They know how to take care of each other. My Lord, that is going to be something.
Yes.
You you you're going to love each
The
other.
alchemy. The
Loving each
alchemy. Yes.
Yes, the loving each other will be a wonderful experience. You're going to cook for your husband to make him in perfect shape sexually, mentally, and your husband is taking care of you to make you happy, relaxed, and self-fulfilling. Come
Yeah.
on, that's the way. So this is a responsibility we don't have. We have, but we don't endorse because our parents, the way they educate us, they don't have that type of conversation with us. As a matter of fact, in the family, and particularly when you are Christian, so to speak, you don't talk about sex. Whoa. But sex is there every day.
Yeah.
Morning, noon, and evening, sex is in your face.
I mean,
So, and
that's the
sex,
first command.
yeah, sex is what defines your identity. Uh,
Absolutely.
sex, sex defines your gender, and according to your gender, you have a certain type of voice. You dress yourself in a certain way. Come
Right.
on, sex is all over in your face. So that's why I said it's such a conversation. It's important to have it at least. We might not go because the time is short. Uh, we might not have a lot of opportunity, but at least it gives us.
As we get
Mhm.
ready to wrap up things, right? There was a question I wanted to ask. You mentioned that you know a lot of people eat rice and peas every day, right? I mean, the
Yes,
reality is that is part of the slavery diet as you classified it. It's
yes.
also part of this concept of not necessarily the middle class or the lower class, but sometimes that's what people can afford, right? But here's the thing: what are some foods or affordable foods that persons can consume daily that would make their lives better? What about that?
Well, there are a lot of food, a lot of weeds, in the street that nobody's paying mind to them.
Give us an
And
idea. We
you
have
have
five
done,
more minutes to go.
we have Dandelion.
Well, yes,
Dandelion
King
is one of the
Dandelion.
best. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. Dandelion is extremely important. And there are mushroom. You can cultivate mushroom yourself in your
yeah.
backyard. People need to be. The idea is that people need to get more involved into having the
Home
little garden
garden.
in the backyard, home garden. Yes, and there is no middle class. The only difference is that people are not knowledgeable enough. And strange enough, the people that have more money is those people now building their own backyard garden.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but the people that has no money, it's the education that makes the difference. Um, you have papaya leaves. Papaya leaves is extremely beneficial. Mango leaves, a lot of stuff that we throw away. We could use as food, but we haven't learned how to do that, how to process those food. Uh,
yeah,
we have a lot of cactus that we can use as food. Aloe can be used as food,
yeah.
and there are so many things we can do. But of course, this is something that we could. Uh, that's what we call foraging. As a matter of fact, we can go to the woods and you pick up a lot of food. God has done it in such a way
Yes,
that you can collect a lot of food that are not expensive. People are starving not because they are poor, but because they are ignorant.
wow. That's a powerful statement, Doc.
It is. They are ignorant. They go to the bush, there are a lot of food there that God has made us, but they don't have any idea about what is comestible and what is not, what is eatable or what is not.
Yeah,
And that's what it is. And that's why it's so important for us to have that type of session, a conversation on health. And the kitchen is important, but you can go to the bush and get a lot of food and bring it inside. And at the kitchen, you can use your blender. You can make specific seasoning to combine those food, and you have a complete meal. So we are not. It's not because you are poor that you don't eat well. It's because you are ignorant.
agreed, agreed. Well, okay, so I guess that's your closing on that topic. I totally agree with you. And of course, as you guys are seeing in my hand, this is Dr. Bastian's book, Common Food with Wonderful Healing Benefits. This food, this food, I'm talking about food. This book is available for sale and available at KENOR International, Tobago. So if you're interested in this book, tell us about your book briefly, Dr. Bastian. If you are to summarize this in 1 minute to someone and the importance of which why they should purchase your book.
This book is a vademecum. A vademecum used to be a little bag that the doctor carry with him everywhere, where he got the most emergency medicine when he make his home visit. This book is a vademecum in that sense that it presents to you, no matter what condition you may have. And I've had the experience that somebody in Bermuda, after reading the book and went through the a passage regarding the 5 day plan, well, that passage 5 day plan. That person told me that he repeated that 5 day plan 9 times and he had prostate cancer. His PSA was 22. After doing that 9 times, that means 45 days, repeating the 5 day plan. That person told me the cancer was gone and and the PSA went down to basically 0 1. How did that happen? I didn't write the book for that purpose, but that person had the inspiration to do that. This is the book that reveal to you everything that you have in your kitchen that you can use to reverse a lot of degenerative condition. So that's why everybody should have this book. But what I encourage you, don't make the mistake to learn this book, to let anybody borrow this book from you. You will not have it back. You will not have it back. because that person will be willing to keep the book. Is extremely sophisticated, the way you combine the chart, because it tells you for each 100 gram of food, the amount of milligram of each nutrients you can find in each food. For example, in broccoli, you're going to see that you can find a high level of zinc in
Yes.
broccoli.
Yes.
It explains those things to you. So, like that, if you know that you want zinc, you're going to look for all the food that have a high content in zinc.
Yeah.
This food save you a lot of time and give you a lot of for your nutritional pattern and dietary habits. So this is the book you cannot afford not to have in your house, particularly when you have teenagers and young ladies. A lot of women getting into menopause. You don't have to go to menopause. Get the book and you learn how to maintain your hormones at their best level. And guess what? Your growth too. Because a lot of people, when they reach that stage, they, oh, me, I'm no longer into this. It's not that.
Excellent, excellent, guys. You have heard it. Common food with wonderful healing properties. Dr. Kenny Bastian's book. Let me just give you an idea of some of the topics that we have here in the table of contents. Of course, as Dr. Bastian profiled just now about the semi-acidic fruits and vegetables, the legumes, and things that we can use. There's a section about anemia, constipation, digestion, gastric acidity, infertility, insomnia, so rheumatoid or rheumatism rather, skin diseases, and so much more. Right? You could get a copy of this book if you visit KENOR International here in Tobago. All right. And of course, you could make contact with Dr. Bastian directly. You could set up to get your scan and make an appointment at the office. All right. The number to call is 14, well, WhatsApp call only, of course. That's 1407 765 5075. All right. So that's 1407 765 5075. All right. Doc, do you have any other closing remarks as we wrap up this week's conversations on health?
It has been a moment. Always when we do this, we realize that it's important for the family now, for the partner, for the couple. If you've been married for a long time and you have children, but it's not too late to watch your diet and to know that your diet, the way you use your kitchen, has a tremendous impact on the educational, intellectual, emotional, spiritual uh, development of your children and yourself. May God bless you all.
Indeed, give thanks for that. Thank you so much, Dr. Bastian, for spending time with us here for conversations on health. Guys, we are here every Wednesday from 1:30 p.m. via Wilson's Music Center. All right, join us for another conversations on health next week. I'm Natoya Johnson Chapman, wishing you all the best on a healthy life, guys. Take care.